Hey guys, Levi and I are coming at you today because you won't leave me alone. We're going to be talking a little bit more about not just about abundance mindset, but about changing your mindset from lack to increasing your faith. I know that sounds a little weird, but if you don't have faith that something will happen, it doesn't happen. We all have faith things are going to happen, whether they are positive or negative. So if you say I'm broke, we have faith that we're going to be broke. Right? It's way easier sometimes for us to say that than to say I have abundance, because it's a weird thing to say. Like I have money when we're thinking about reality. But we have faith that we are going to stay broke. We can also have faith that we can have the careers that we want. We can have the job outcomes that we want. We can make whatever amount of money we want. And I do mean whatever. I mean, why not? What is holding us back? And so that's what I'm going to do some teaching through this, because we've talked a lot about anatomy and a lot about muscle compensations and not enough about the abundance mindset and lack mindset and increasing your faith, because that's a huge part of job security for musicians. We think that we are only deserving of certain things, like we want to have money, but we think we have to stay broke because that's what we're told. We're told musicians are broke. Musicians don't have any money. My gear is worth more than my car, and then I'll drive 4 hours for $100 paying gig. It's just like, why does that have to, like, we make fun of it, but what you think about, you create more of, whether you're joking about it or serious, right? So if you want to change your perception of your current reality, you have to have faith in it. You have to imagine it. Nothing happens without imagining it first. Okay. Did you go to graduate school? If you did, you went because you imagined going first, right? Then you put in the work and then you got in. It's not like you just imagine things and they show up. That's not what we're talking about. Faith without works is dead. Faith without action is useless, right? But if we don't have faith, I've been hearing this language a lot, is I wish I had the money. I have to be very careful with my finances. I wish. Okay, so you are having faith that you will stay broke and your current situation is all you can have. You can change your current situation by believing that you can have something else. You have to see it very clearly in your mind. You have to be able to visualize it and impress upon your subconscious the feeling of what it would be like to have that. I'm going to share something with you. My dream is to have $50,000 a month. It seems insane to me, or at least it did when I said that a year ago. But I've talked to all kinds of people who regularly make $10,000 a month. If you can make 5, you can make 10. If you can make 10, you can make 15. If you can make 15, you can make 30. If you can make 30, you can make 50. What David Nagel says, that his mentor, Bob Proctor, said, is that it's easier to make your annual income in a month than the other way around. That's hard to think about as a musician, right? We're so used to trading time for money that we sometimes struggle to see another way, right? Not all of us are on salary jobs, or we think we have to only either teach, we have to trade time for money, doing one-on-one lessons. No, I mean, we talked about that in the guide, where we're talking about what are some of the different things we can do to create passive residual income, or create other careers. You can go on tour, you can write a book, you can, you have music sales, you can produce for people. Let me put it this way. I have one of my clients, I saw the other day, is a really well-known cello player. And not only does he do session work constantly and play and gig constantly, he's going up to Chicago because he produced his friend's album. I didn't know he produced. I know so many musicians that have other side gigs, but they're not side gigs. They're just part of their career that they want to have. So I'd love to know, what are some thoughts that you have on ways that you can create income that's not trading time for money? I mentioned you can go on tour. That's not necessarily time for money. You can be an artist in residence, which you can ask for a lump sum. You can create courses that people can download on demand. There's a whole bunch of different things. You can do things that are non-music related. You can learn how to invest. I know Orlando can probably talk to some of this. You can learn how to invest in things. You can have real estate. You can do all these things. Who says you only have to do it one way, right? There is no one way. Everybody's path is different. Everybody's life is different. I'm excited to see how you guys are going to change the world, right? Because this is where it starts. So I'm going to be doing some reading through God Works Through Faith by Dr. Robert Russell. And if you haven't read this book, it's just nuggets of gold. So here are some actual action steps that can be helpful. Just when some great opportunity, okay, hold on. It is difficult, this is on page 38. It is difficult to think and speak constructive, positive, happy, victorious, life-giving words when the mind is filled with anxieties, apprehensions, antagonism, antipathies, doubts, criticisms, and fears. Isn't that true? When you think about that. You can only do one thing. So just like we talk about, the body cannot, you can't do two opposing muscle forces cannot contract at the same time. Your brain can't focus on positive and negative at the same time. You're focused one way. You can shift back and forth, but you're usually focused one way. Just when some great challenge or opportunity comes along, which would enrich our lives or improve our circumstances, we are stopped dead in our tracks by a sense of doubt, fear, or inferiority. Some sinister thought wriggles up out of the subconscious mind and says, beware, this is not for you. You are not equal to it. You do not have what it takes. Let it alone. Right? How many times has this happened that you get some kind of opportunity that shows up and you think, I'm not worthy of that. I couldn't do that. That's outside my realm of knowledge. Why would the opportunity present itself to you if you're not equal to it? It would present itself to someone else. The opportunities present themselves to those who are equal to it. Have faith. Let not your heart be troubled. Are you in some kind of difficulty right now? Then start drawing upon your faith. Face the difficulty and say, God in the midst of me is able to conquer this thing. He is doing it now. I have faith to move mountains, and I am calling upon that faith now. I have the courage to conquer and subdue any adverse thing. But here comes that voice again. You're only kidding yourself. You are scared stiff. You haven't any courage and you know it. How are you going to silence this voice? You're going to challenge it every time it speaks. You're going to make it tell the truth. Say positively, forcefully, and with feeling. Subconscious mind of me, I am tired of your lies and I command you to tell the truth. I command you to restore my courage and faith, and I command you to do it now. Speak as one having authority. Let the subconscious mind know that you mean what you say. Imagination is a gift. Call upon your imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. See yourself possessing the things you desire to possess. Marcus Aurelius once said, a man's life is dyed by the color of his imagination. Imagination is the process of projecting images upon the screen of the mind. You don't have to go through a lot of mental gyrations and exercises. You don't have to argue, reason, or divide. You just make a picture. You become aware of something. You know something. Raise the level of your consciousness. Would you have God? Then you must accept him. You must become aware of him. You must be conscious of him. Do you see that? Do you understand it? Let me put it another way. Can you have anything unless you are conscious of it? Can you have anything unless you are conscious of it? Can you eat a peach unless you are conscious of it? Can you drive your car unless you are conscious of it? Can you greet a friend unless you are conscious of something? What did Jesus say when he said, I am Alpha and Omega? He meant that the whole creative process begins and ends in God. There is nothing before Alpha. There is nothing after Omega. This is the whole operation. This is the way the law works. I am A and Z. The A of life is consciousness, awareness. The Z is demonstration. Put imagination to work. Jesus gave us another wonderful concept. Whatever you can imagine is yours. And you cannot demonstrate anything on the material plane that you cannot imagine first. And all things, whatever you ask, believing you will receive. Now ponder that statement for a few moments and make sure that you understand it. Whatever you can imagine is yours, and you cannot demonstrate anything on the material plane that you cannot imagine first. Creative imagination is a divine faculty given to every man. You have it now. When you put it to work, it opens your consciousness. But that's ridiculous, someone says. Imagination is fantasy. It is a waste of time. Do you know that you can't imagine anything that doesn't have a basis in fact? Think about that for a second, guys. Okay, think about this. You can't imagine anything that doesn't have a basis in fact. Okay. Is there a job that you'd like to have, but you think you can't have it? If you can imagine it, you can have it. It has to have basis in fact. Somebody else has it, why can't you have it? It exists. What about something that doesn't exist? I have a grand idea for what I want. It's here, it's already here. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to imagine it. Even your wildest and sometimes horrible imaginings result from putting things together, parts of things that you've seen or read or heard about. You say, I want a better position. I want a new house. I want more friends. I want to travel. I want a larger income. You know that each of these things has a factual basis. Then meet the test. Answer the question. Can you imagine it? So I want you to think about whatever it is that is holding you back from job security, right? What is the thing that you think you can't have? Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it time? Is it all of those? What is the thing that you would love to do that would give you freedom? It doesn't have to be money. I mean, we all want to make money as musicians. Is it injury? Is it freedom from injury? Do you feel like you can't, that won't actually happen? Answer the question. Can you imagine it? Do you know that I and the Father are one? Do you know God as you? Do you have acceptance? Do you have self-completeness? If you have, what you want is yours. The wish is already established. That which you wish to be is. So I'm going to continue on with this. That brings up some good points though, doesn't it? If you can imagine it, you can have it. But you have to, you have to have faith, right? So moving on to page 63. When the dentist pulls an offending tooth, he knows that he must get the root or it will set up an infection that will poison the whole system later on, right? So it is with these habit patterns of the past. Until the roots are withdrawn, the manifestation of faith will be delayed. So we're talking about there could be something in your past that's holding you back, right? Something that is not allowing you to believe you can have what you want, to put your faith in action, to think that all you can just say is, I wish and I hope. I wish and I hope. It's like Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try. Same with wishing and hoping, it doesn't do any good. You have to actually have faith and go act on it. So these habit patterns that cause us to limp through life may have started as some little sin, fear, mistake, or imagined hurt. As they were repeated, they gradually cut a pattern in the subconscious mind. And all our thoughts from then on flowed through this pattern. When you think about a situation or a thought that holds you back and trace it back to maybe where that came from. Some of them got roots through repetition and others through repression or suppression. So if there's something, is there something that you thought a long time ago that you would like to have that you still just kind of hope for, but you immediately suppressed it because of that voice of, I'm not equal to it, I can't do that, I don't have enough, know enough, do enough, be enough? Suppression, repression. We dwelt on them so long that they sank into the subconscious and were formed a center of their own from which, without our consent, they exert a constant power. To a greater or less degree, we all have these unconscious influences in our lives and fight them as we may, as long as the roots are there, our thought is drained through them. There is a way to root out all of these habit patterns of the past, but it cannot be effective until the cause of the trouble is known. By that, I mean that we cannot apply a constructive course of action until the offending pattern has been unmasked. The first step, therefore, is to find this hidden memory pattern and bring it out into the light. Ask yourselves these questions. Where does your trouble come from? When did it start? What caused you to be so fearful? When did you first get angry? Who was it that hurt you and why? Why were you resentful? Why were you disillusioned? What did you do that caused you to be ashamed? Why do you feel guilty? Try to recall. Get very still and try to remember. Command the subconscious mind to bring all these memories up to the conscious mind. Do it in the same way that you recall a name, a date, or an event. Make your demand, and then turn your thought to something else. Whatever information you are seeking will come forth. Does not the Bible say that there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known? The answer may come while you're in the silence, or it may come while you're thinking about something else, but come it will. In the moment you think not, the Son of Man comes. The next step is to replace the offending pattern that you have uncovered with one that is so strongly positive that it literally reverses the negative one. Okay, so going back to tracing our lack mindset here, why we feel like we're not able to have something, why we can't have a desire, why there's something that, whatever it is that you are dealing with, that we'll just say there's an opportunity that came up and that thought immediately came to you of, I can't do that. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. I don't know enough. Okay. Where did that thought come from? Why do you feel that way? When did you first have that thought? What is it about this circumstance that makes you feel so strongly that no, I can't, I'm not enough, I can't do, have, or be enough to step up to that? Trace it back. Is there a time? Thinking about myself, I was at Interlochen Arts Camp. I don't remember which situation this was. I'm sorry, which week this was, but we had weekly chair placements. So we had, what do you call them? We had, shoot, I forget what you call them. Where you go up or down a chair, right? It's basically auditioning in front of your friends. Challenges, we had challenges. And I was in the top band out of 2. And I don't remember where I was. I never broke into the first flutes. That's okay. That's still pretty impressive. I was even in it. I was in the second flute section. And I remember there was one day, pardon me, there was one day I did very badly and I failed. Somebody beat me. And then somebody beat me. And then you just kept going until, and I kept failing and failing and failing. And I got in my own head, and we've all been there. And I went all the way down to the bottom. And the girl from the bottom band, who was first chair bottom band, I was now the last chair top band. We auditioned and I won, we challenged and I kept my spot, but it was just devastating. I thought, oh, I'm such a failure. How could I have let this happen? And I remember talking to my grandfather. And he said, do you think you just didn't try hard enough? Or no, he said, do you think you're not working? How do you say it? Do you think maybe you're not working hard enough? And I was immediately angry. I was hurt that he didn't understand, that he thought I was lazy, that he didn't get how devastatingly emotionally this was to me, that I felt like he basically took my pain and made that about, you're not worth it because you're not working hard enough. In reality, he came from a family of like 13 kids, and that's what he knew growing up in the Great Depression, was that you had to work hard to make anything. And he was just trying to show me love and support the best way he knew. It was not what I needed and did not come across right. But that moment really seeded a thought in me that I have to work hard for anything to happen, that I'm not allowed to have success come easily. It must be hard. It must be difficult. It must be a struggle. And if I'm not working hard enough, I'm definitely not worth it, which is a bunch of bull. But that's how I can trace some of my issues back. So I want you to think about when that might have happened for you, right? So when you find that thing in the moment, when you find let's see, what was it? Find the hidden memory pattern and bring it out into the light. Again, where does your trouble come from? When does it start? Not all of these questions might be right for you. That's right. Where does your trouble come from? What caused you to be so fearful? What about money? Let's think about this. Why do you feel like you can only have one job, or we can only have one thing, or that we have to work hard, or that we'll always be broke, or what is holding you back from the thing you want? What caused you to be so fearful? Even what about being afraid of success? I've been there too. I'm afraid to really succeed and make this $50,000 because I won't know how to handle it. I won't know how to deal with it. I won't know what to do with it. I'll squander it, and then I'll have to owe taxes and I didn't save or whatever, and I won't have enough taxes, right? You can be afraid that way too. What caused you to be so fearful? Well, if I go back, nobody taught me how to deal with money. My grandparents had money, but we never talked about it. It wasn't allowed to be talked about. So I wasn't given any skills to know how to get the money like they got it, because we didn't talk about it. So therefore, I'm not enough. Therefore, if I keep myself broke, I don't have to deal with the problem. Anybody else have this situation? When did you first get angry? Who was it that hurt you and why? Why were you resentful? Why were you disillusioned? Okay, so when you find that memory pattern, think about the thing that triggered you to have that thought of I'm not enough. When you find the pattern, the next step is to replace the offending pattern that you have uncovered with one that is so strongly positive that it literally reverses the negative one. So we have to think, this would be great if y'all were here and we could actually have this conversation. But so I'm just going to guess, based on mine, what is something that's really positive? I don't know. I got to think about this. The offending pattern is that I have to work really hard. The opposite is that success is easy. Okay, I want to think about having money just flow to me, that I'm giving people really great value, and that it's easy, and that it's okay for me to accept success and income easily. But I'd have to replace it with one that is so strongly positive. What I just said was not really strongly positive. I have to work on that, and you might have to work on that as well. So let us suppose, let's see. I have absolute faith in you because you always act upon those ideas which I feel to be true. And you're speaking in your subconscious mind. Okay, I'm going to say a little bit of this. Let us suppose that the offending thought pattern is fear. Fear of any of one of the thousands of things that hold people in bondage. To reverse fear, enter the silence and meditate upon a statement of truth, such as this: my faith in God delivers me from all fear. Meditate on it. Impress these words upon the subconscious mind with deep feeling until a great sense of peace, which is the answer, comes over you. Then speak to your subconscious mind in such a manner as this. And he's got a bunch of different ideas. One of these might resound to you. So when you meditate upon the thought until you get that great sense of peace. I mean, I remember thinking the other day, I was sitting at a stoplight and I just felt everything here let go. Like, yeah, I can accept the good things that are coming. I can accept success. I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited to have all these things finally and bring good things into the world. It's not just about getting money. It's about what I'm going to give and how people are going to benefit and what I can do, right? So speak to your subconscious mind once you've gotten that. Subconscious mind of me, you are a vibrant living part of me. You are instantly receptive and responsive to my call. You always obey my commands and directions. You fulfill my desires to the letter. You always do what I want done. There's nothing you cannot do. And I have absolute faith in you because you always act upon those ideas, which I feel to be true. You're always waiting for my call. And right now I want you to reverse this pattern of fear with a pattern of faith. Eliminate from my mind all fear and all belief that anything is now wrong or can ever be wrong. Insulate my mind against fear so that no thought of fear can ever enter my consciousness again. You can draw the roots of this old fear out of me, and I know that you are doing it now. Go all the way back to my memories and heal all these things that happened in the past so that they will not trouble me anymore. You have received my instructions and you have responded to my call. You have broken the chains which have bound me. I feel the fullness of perfect faith in every atom of my being. My faith in your power is unlimited, and I know that the healing, freeing work begun in me will continue until I am every whit whole. So talking about getting out of your root pattern of fear. So so to change your consciousness from the negative pattern into the positive pattern, You must come to see that these doubts that darken your vision, these fears that paralyze your efforts, these ghosts that haunt you, these memories of people who represent opposition are really nothing more nor less than your own reactions to things that have happened to you. They have power only because you give it to them. Withdraw the power by reversing the pattern and they will cease to trouble you. So I've got one more thing. Okay, so our last little bit here is going to talk a little bit more about what we talked about last week, and that is how to get what you want, basically, how to manifest your desires. And it builds on what we just talked about. Imagination, let's see. To increase the potential of faith, you must increase your expectations. What do you think that means? Increase our expectations. So I'm thinking of somebody who said she wanted to get into workshops. If you want to increase your faith, increase your expectations. Currently, she expects that nobody wants what she has. She expects that she is thinking about all these people that probably don't want a workshop because she's disqualifying them without ever asking. She has to raise her expectations. She has to increase her expectations that they want what she has. And then act on it. What do you want to bet? Someone's going to want what she has, and that's going to increase her faith, right? Imagination shows you the possibilities of God's kingdom. Faith makes them real. Now is the accepted time. Are you ready to put your faith to the test? Get a pencil and paper and go to work. Put your prayer or treatment in words. See the problem not as your imagination reports it, but as it is in truth. State as briefly as possible your intention, what you are seeking. Be accurate and definite. Take these steps. 1, release the desire with deep feeling to the subconscious mind. 2, let God have it. 3, don't question or wonder how the desire is going to be fulfilled. The how is not important. You need to think about what it is that you want. Increase the feeling around what you want. What would it feel like to have what you want and to be living that dream? Don't worry about the how. Don't question or wonder how the desire is going to be fulfilled. Dismiss any mental reservations or doubts. 4 is to keep a positive image before your mind. So just imagine living in the thing. Accept the outcome of your prayer. And if results seem slow at first, take the intention into the silence or meditation several times a day, impressing it with deep feeling upon the subconscious mind, meaning until you realize that the problem is already solved. Imagine yourself in the situation you want to be in. What does it feel like to be debt-free, to be doing what you want to do, to be helping people the way you want to help them? What would your life look like? What would your day look like? How would it feel to have X amount of money, or to play in a certain hall, or to have the instrument you want, or whatever? How would it feel? Imagine it. Imagine it as real as possible. And don't worry about how, but and be grateful. Add gratitude to that. Freedom from worry and anxiety releases your power to serve, develops appreciation of the beauty and magnitude of the world you live in, and increases your joy in life. Hold the great desire of your heart in the forefront of consciousness for a moment. See it clearly. Get your sense of oneness with God. Say it with deep feeling. This is God wanting what I want through me. Now, if you don't believe in God, maybe you think of the universe or spirit or divine consciousness or whatever. So whatever works for you. But thinking that this is God wanting what I want through me gives me such a sense of relief and allows me to accept whatever I want more easily, right? And think about it. The nature of faith is to act. And then we talk about getting into actions and stuff. So what are here are the last couple things here. What are the 6 steps in demonstration? So, faith without works is dead. The nature of faith is to act. And without the power of faith, belief is weak. So we have to put that into action. What are the 6 steps? The first step is to formulate our desire, to see it clearly in mind. The second step is to impress it with deep feeling upon the subconscious mind, to see ourselves accomplishing that thing. The third step is to exercise our faith by accepting the desire as fulfilled. Accept it as fulfilled. How exciting does that feel? The fourth step is to keep our feeling and thinking moving with our desire. The fifth step is to order our conversation aright, to speak always in terms of expectancy and fulfillment. That's easier said than done. Catch yourself how many times a day you find yourself speaking negatively. Speak as if the thing you want has already happened. I have this. I love having this. I enjoy that, whatever it is. The sixth step is to carry our desire into action and to act as if it were already fulfilled. Think about the thing you want and how cool it would be to just, what would it be like right now to act as if you had a yacht? Kids do this all the time, right? You remember when you were a kid and you had a cardboard box in the backyard and you made it into a spaceship or a boat or a whatever, right? You were off in the desert somewhere, right? We don't think anything weird about kids. Why do we think that's weird as an adult? It's not. What would it be like? Take your imagination for a second. What would it be like? How would you act as if the desire you have is already fulfilled? How does it feel to have that instrument, to drive that car, to be on your yacht, to take vacations with people you love? Put yourself in that situation. Now act as if you already have it. I'm not saying be arrogant about it, but you know that feeling you have, you can sense what it's like to have what it is that you want. Start acting as if you do have it already and be grateful for it and see what happens, right? All right, that's where we're going to end today. So I want to know in the comments, what is the thing that you want? What is your limiting belief? Can you talk about, if you feel okay with it, letting us know what's the pattern? What's the thing? What's the pattern, the negative pattern? What are you going to replace it with? And what is it that you want? This is going to be really exciting. This can be fun. So this is what I have. And I've had this up here for, I don't even know how long. It's just been right here. $50,000 a month. And so acting as if I've got a little fake check made out, $50,000 to me. Just seeing that there makes me go, how cool would it be? How cool? No. How cool is it to get these checks, one of these checks every month? It looks just like this. So I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. I'm seeing it frequently. But then what do I want? You have to give up something to have what we want, right? You don't just get something for nothing. You don't just like wish and hope. No, I want this. What do I want? I love the feeling of being debt-free. I'm able to bless others with jobs and opportunities with this money. I am helping musicians all over the world. I love to sit in that feeling of what that feels like. I'm helping musicians all over the world. I love being able to set my own schedule, travel, save, and do what I want. I own my own business outright. Everyone comes to me as a resource. I think I can't really read this. And then I write out, what would it be like as if? What does that look like? How do I envision not just having one of these, having multiples of, so what do I do with that money? What does it feel like? I own multiple homes and rent them out when I'm not there, which blesses other people with places to stay. I work 3 to 4 days a week, playing and training. I only teach if I want to. I love being able to make money no matter where I am. Opportunities come to me easily and constantly. These are all affirmations, and they just, reading these makes me go, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I love being debt-free, making a profit, and helping so many people. I love having my business in Nashville. I think I wrote this last year, and it's just been sitting up here, and there's nothing wrong with having money. And $50,000 to some people is nothing. There are people who make $1 million a month. It doesn't make them evil. Some people are going to argue with me, but that is not what this course is about, right? This is about changing your mindset about why you think you're not worth it into why you are worth it. allowing yourself to have what you want and changing your mindset and your speaking and your imagining and your thoughts and everything else to get there. So what thoughts are there that are keeping you small? What are the limiting beliefs? What is the belief you can say that is so positive it changes it around? What gets you excited? What is something that is a dream of yours that gets you excited? Why did you join this course? What did this course, what about this course excited you to be able to do this, huh? That's what I want to hear, okay? And if you know anybody who would like to change their mindset and who would benefit from this, please let them know about the 2-day intensive where we take this whole course. We talk about it in 2 days, okay? First one coming up is May 21st. It's in 2 weeks. And the next one is July 9th, okay? So if they register soon, they get a big discount. And then they can apply that money to being in this full course if they want. So yeah, this is how we can change the world. If you want to change the world and you want other people to learn the things that you're learning, tell people about this, okay? Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.